Welcome back, and here's our third installment of our season preview here at District 1. And this
it's
is
the big show.
It's the one
It's
most
the
have
big
been waiting
show.
for. Yes, the team preview. So before Glenn and I get into our top tens, and they do vary somewhat, and not necessarily the top per se, but there are some differences of opinions here just at this table, as I'm sure there is from you, everyone watching at home. We did get out and get to interview some coaches at scrimmages. Due to some scheduling conflicts between all of us, we just didn't get out to as many scrimmages as we have in the past. But we still do have quite a few interviews for you to see now, and we're going to cut to that video, and then we're going to come back, and Glenn and I are going to wrap it up with our top 10 teams. Glenn claims he's going 16 on me. I'm going maybe 12 tops. We'll let Glenn just keep going out teams. I think he's going to throw Hatboro in his top 16, of course.
16 and honorable mention, Jeff.
Exactly. But again, as always, we're going to have a little fun with it. We're going to talk about each team individually as best we can and give a good representation of it. But before we get to that, enjoy this video, these interviews that we have with some local coaches.
Yeah, some real good interviews here. So, Mike, roll that tape.
Well, I lost two good ones. My son Jason, he moved down to Chester County. Kyle Blasco moved down to Florida. So we got two new guys coming in. Colin McSherry that wrestled here, I think, in '95. He's back on the mat coaching. And Cody Lufer, who wrestled with us in 2014. Young guy, good shape, can roll with all the kids. And I have Zach Maggs, who's working with the heavyweights. So basically a whole new coaching staff except for me and Richie Sarabi. We're young down low. We got a couple good seniors back. Andrew Bukowski, he's gonna be a good for us. Calvin Letter, they're both seniors, so they're probably the best guys to get to go anywhere. Kevin Cush, who's stepping up as a senior also. So we do have quite a few seniors. Just experience-wise, they're not,
Are your numbers good, Frank, as they normally are?
Yeah, not as high. We were really anticipating being in the mid-50s or probably like somewhere in the 40s.
All right,
So,
good. Yeah, you guys always kind of fill that room up. Thank God you have a big room, right?
Yeah. We changed it a little bit. We're not traveling away. We're going pretty much local. Got the big Hatboro tournament. Other than that, we're pretty much local tournaments and try to cut the traveling down.
It feels kind of normal to be back. Running club practice throughout the whole year, it really hasn't stopped us. So we still kept some type of normalcy throughout the entire shutdown and pandemic. The room's working hard. We have about 32 guys on the roster, which is nice to see that many people back in the room. Last year we only had about 24, so it's nice to break 30 numbers again. We expect to challenge for the league title again. 2 years ago we were league champions. Last year we beat everyone that we wrestled in our league. We didn't get a chance to wrestle Kennett in a dual meet. They were the only other team that really ran the table on our side of the league, and because of a COVID situation that happened, and so we expect to wrestle for the league title again, and hopefully make it to the second and third round of the district duels. We expect Shane Holfelder, Alex Williams to be state qualifiers. Both of them have potential to possibly medal. Outside of that, we have Danny Kearney, who's also, when he's on, he's one of the best in District 1. Timmy Kearney, his little brother, is a returning regional qualifier. And then we also have two more. Chase Thompson, he's a 189-pounder. He wrestled really well this past summer, went down to NHSCA's and lost in the blood round from being an All-American. And another 215-pounder, Ant Laird, who didn't get the chance to wrestle last postseason, but he's someone that we really expect some good things from. We have a couple of freshmen. We have 13 freshmen. Out of all 13, all of them have a lot of experience wrestling. The top freshmen, I'd say, are 152, Will Caden, 160, Alex Alvarez, and 132, Brecken Strickland. So we expect big things out of all three of them. And our 106, John Diorio. All four of them are pretty tough, have wrestled for multiple years. Brecken Strickland was a PJW state qualifier, so it's kind of pointing in the right direction with all that.
It was good. We had a lifting program Coach Dylan came up with. So we had some of our freshmen, sophomore kids that didn't play football at the lifting. And then towards July and August, we had open mat once a week, twice a week. Some kids coming in for it. So it feels pretty good to be back. Our team went 7-2 last year at the pandemic, which is going in the pack. Our expectations are to win 80%, 90% of our matches this year and make the team championships. We have 2 freshmen. Well, we had 3 freshmen up. 2 of them are brothers, Cole Euchre and Carter Euchre, and those will be the ones to look out for as freshmen, them 2. We expect 4 or 5, hopefully. You know, we got Kelly Kotkos, Luke Rickey, Gavin Pasco, Grant Euchre, and then, you know, hopefully we have a couple sleepers in there. Luke Hanlon, maybe, let's see who else. Cole Euchre's in there. Aiden Stratton could be players for us this year.
It's great. It's great to be started on time, and it's great to be looking at having a full and complete season that we didn't have last year. So great start to the season. We have close to 30 kids out. We're balanced nicely, freshmen, sophomore, junior, senior, and you know, we're going to have a full lineup of mostly juniors and seniors looking to compete in the Chesmont, which I think is top to bottom the deepest league in District 1. So I think we're going to be as always, attempt to be a district dual kind of team. You know, always important in a 3 high school system to compete with the other 2 Westchester schools, and then you know, we've been to the state tournament 3 of the last 4 years, so that's a goal as well for our program, is to keep developing the individual talent for the end of the year. We don't have any freshmen I think are going to come in and make immediate impacts, but 2 of our better juniors, Reese Holvey and Jeff Cooper, were out last year due to COVID precautions, and they both have pretty extensive youth careers. So, you know, those 2 plus, you know, Max Barnes, who I think is an emerging talent, and you know, a deep senior class is going to, you know, keep us in every dual meet. Senior upper weights that I think if they can get going at the right time, they could have a postseason run as well.
Good. We had a really good, we had a productive preseason. We got a couple transfers back in. We got a new transfer in from the Midwest. Good kid, he's 4-0 already today. No, we had a really good, productive preseason. I'm just like most coaches, I'm just happy that we're having a quasi-normal start to the season and some of the COVID mess is over with. But yeah, we're excited. Hopefully, you know, we make a little bit of noise this year, and you know, we exceed our expectations and exceed everybody else's expectations, and we have a good season. I mean, we're always in a tough league, but we'd like to be competitive with Penn Ridge, be competitive with North Penn. CV East is obviously really good this year, so we'd like to be able to hang with them as well. Again, they're always tight matches, they're good competitive matches, but you know, as long as we go out there and you know, put our best foot forward, I think we should have some good competitive matches with those guys. We've got a couple freshmen coming up. Yeah, nobody special, hard workers, you know, trying to break middle school habits, some of that stuff, but all in all, yeah, we're really excited to see how they do this year. We only lose, I think, 3 after the season, maybe 4 after this season, so we're still a pretty young team, and we've got a lot of room for growth. So
preseason Penn Ridge has been pretty awesome. I mean, this is my first year here, but we did a lot of stuff off season, summertime, preseason. We were getting about 20-25 kids a practice, did a pretty strong lifting schedule, got these kids a ton of practice time on the mat. We came into the season, I think, really excited, probably in some of the best shape that we've seen some of these kids in a few years. So a lot of excitement around the Penn Ridge program. This year it's kind of going out and proving to people that we're back. We struggled a few years ago with numbers. We got numbers back last year. We had a big jump in numbers. This year we took another big jump in numbers. Brought some of our young team back from last year. We had a lot of freshmen last year. So we're going in to kind of prove to people that Penn Ridge is on the right track. Penn Ridge is going to get better every year. We worked hard and really excited to kind of get into the league matches and hopefully try to finish towards the top of that SOL this year versus I think we're about the middle of the pack last year. So we have pretty high expectations for our young group. Like I said, this year we only have 2 seniors on the team, but our sophomore crew of Sam Coons, Cole Coffin, Ryan Gallagher, made some runs last year. Sam was a state qualifier. Ryan was a regional qualifier. Cole got, I think, 5th at region. So a lot of excitement behind those 3, but we brought in 2 freshmen too that we expect to make a pretty decent run. Colby Martinelli will be our 106-pounder. Talon Hogan, really accomplished youth wrestler, coming in at probably one of the upper weights. He might struggle a little bit, but we're really excited of that young crew that's kind of going to lead our team this year into that postseason. Awesome. I mean, I'm a Penridge grad. I wrestled at Penridge. Brought a lot of alumni back with me. A lot of these younger kids came back finally, so we're probably close to 9 assistant coaches. A lot of them wrestled in that 2011, 12, 13, 14 year, so they were part of some of the really good Penridge teams. So exciting to see a lot of these guys come back when they get back to their school. So we're ready to go. I mean, this has been fun. I'm honored to be part of the Penridge program. I've coached the youth team for 10 years, the middle school teams, and now kind of back where I left off at the high school team. So
losing time, having our season canceled last year just hurts us on the experience front. We kind of lost 2 off seasons as well with different camps that we would send kids to every year, kind of getting canceled or changed up or moved to a different time, day, and all that sort of thing. So really for us, it's just missing the time on the mat, competing in matches and that off season time is what hurts us the most. I mean, I think you got a lot of kids with a chip on their shoulder. A lot of our goals are centered around everyone working as hard as they possibly can and giving great effort every day at practice. There's a lot of kids that want more from themselves after seeing their season, how easily it could be taken away from them. And we're a pretty senior heavy team. Not everyone's going to be varsity, obviously, but we have 13 seniors on our team, guys that have been rolling around for the past 6 years from 7th grade on through. There's guys with some lofty goals that will hopefully help them get there this year. So we have guys that, definitely some unfinished business in terms of Happer Horsham student athlete, kids that just have been lifting, have been working hard, that are coming back to the sport for us. And, we're hopeful to make the most of it and have a successful season. Suburban 1 League looks tough with Quakertown rejoining the Liberty Division. It seems like they're either out or in. Same with us, we get moved around quite a bit. So it's a competitive landscape. I know PW has a new coach this season, but everyone else kind of returns. You got coaches that have been coaching since I was an athlete way back when, so it's going to be difficult certainly to get past those Quaker towns with a storied program in Abington and things like that. But we got kids that are willing to put in the work to hopefully give us a chance to compete certainly in the league and work for a team title this year. We love the outlook of District 1 South for us at Hapro. It's something that we've been lobbying to get back into, when we saw some success there the last time we were able to compete in that D1 South. I'm very excited and fortunate to, be able to coach, this year with this team against that competition. I think it bodes well for us to not get beat up by Suburban 1 teams and try to get most of our team on to regionals and I think still be able to get a top 5 finish, if not compete for the District 1 South, title. I don't know if we'd be a top 8 team. I certainly see ourselves as in preseason as a top 16, and this being the first year that we're really wrestling all inclusive of District 1, we're going up to, different tournaments all over District 1 for teams that we've never seen before in the regular season. So it's going to be a great test for us to see where we can finish, not only in individual tournaments, but also in team dual tournaments, and really give us a good gauge. I think I have 19 duels scheduled this year, which is more than we've ever done. So we're really hoping to put together a good resume for the district duels, committee to decide whether or not we're a viable team or not. And I think we'll put together a good product, on the mat for that. I mean, you look at teams that always have a rich history of doing well and having success from a program standpoint. So your Council Rock Souths are always going to be dangerous. Your Quaker Towns are always going to be dangerous. Teams like Great Valley is coming along. You got Strathaven coming along in District 1. I know Springford graduated a lot, but they run a great program down there as well. So it can make it difficult to compete. Then you never know when you get lightning into playing, against some of these other teams like O&J Roberts or whatever. There's teams out there that strike it big. 1 year Neshaminy had a great run a couple years ago. So you really never know who that top team's going to be until you're kind of in it. And that's, I think, how it is for a lot of teams that, you struggle and then you build something and then you rebuild. But it's just about being consistent, which is something hard for most teams in District 1. But you definitely look to those teams that have a storied history of success.
Feels great to be back in the room. Really enjoying it. Kids are working really hard so far. Our numbers are pretty good. We're probably closing in on 30. We've got a good group of leadership in the sense of seniors and juniors, and then we've got some really good incoming freshmen as well. looking forward to the season. I think if we get kids in the right weight classes and we stay injury free, we could. Our expectations could be set pretty high. Obviously, the pack is going to be really solid with teams like O&J, Springford. Perk Valley has a really good team, so I think that's going to be a 4-team race. I think in the district, I'm hoping that we can possibly, get back into that top 4 echelon. I think we can with a lot of hard work and, like I said, getting people in the weight classes that they need to be in. I would say the freshmen that I'm excited about, we've got a little guy, Brody Coleman. He's going to be probably at 6 or 13. Brody Coleman's a tough kid. Shane Stankina coming in, and Beck Babb, cousin of Chance. He's in there as well. So those are 3 freshmen that I really like right now. We've got a couple other ones as well, but those are the 3 that have been standing out so far.
Feels great. We're back. We're allowed to go live and not wear the mask. It's kind of nice. I'm cheating my mask here so you can hear me. But yeah, it's great. It's we're not fully back 100%, but we're back, and it seems like postseason's going to run similar in the past. So yeah, we're excited, man. We got a great group of guys this year. We graduated a couple seniors. Damo, he went on to Campbell, and Patrick McCoy went on to the Marines, and those 2 seniors were a big loss. And then we got a couple of freshmen coming in that are pretty talented. Colin Guy's coming in. He's ranked in his age division. I think he's number 2 in the nation, something like that. You got Gavin Carroll coming in, who has a good shot at making a lineup, and Hibsman, and I got another sophomore coming in. He was on the team last year. Ike Williams, who looks to fit in at 106 for us, so it's feeling really nice. We Brandon Pierce, who took a few years off from wrestling, he's coming back. Looks like he might slot in our 215 bracket. So, and we haven't been back as a team yet. Shout out to our football team; those guys did awesome this year. Great job, coach and the team. And when we get our football guys back, we'll have the whole team together, and we're looking forward to that. So we don't start, our first competition isn't until December 15th against South. That's going to be a great match. I try to push the schedule off to give our football guys some time to get in and get acclimated to wrestling shape from football shape. And anyone that knows, when you go from football to wrestling, it's 2 different animals. So we're team-wise. If everyone gets to where they're supposed to be, we should have a pretty solid lineup from top to bottom, and we have some high expectations as a team. We want to get to the state show and place, and that's not always the case right now. The Pendulum's real, team-wise is real solid for Quakertown this year, and individually, we have Mason's back, we have Freddie Redder, our heavyweight, back. We have Zach Borzio back, Todd McGann, a senior this year. Oh man, I hope I'm not forgetting someone from the regional tournament, guys. I think I got you all there. But yeah, we got a solid core coming back, and we're excited to see what they could do with another year under the belt. So
we're really glad to be back at practice. Last year was up in the air of how many matches and that type of thing. This year is a little bit more of a normal year. We have our big tournaments that we're going to, and we get into our regular season, and we're looking forward to the postseason. We're going to, work really hard. We hope to be league champs and get as many guys through to obtain their goals. And it's going to be tough. We have a tough division. Westchester East is looking good. But we actually have a tough schedule, so I think that's going to help our boys in the long run, and especially during postseason. Well, last year we had our first 2 classes. We didn't have anybody there, so we did get the 2 freshmen in, and at least it looks like we're going to have a full lineup. And I'll tell you, our 2 freshmen, they're learning every day. They're getting better and better. So we're looking to have a real good season. Will Morrow, get him in the right weight class. He'll be back. Mike Cliver. And some unexpected guys, Dylan Verway, he's looking really good this year, and our heavyweight, Devin Pickett.
All right, welcome back, and it's time everyone's waiting for these top teams, and Glenn, I promise to not tell you you're wrong too much tonight. If you promise the same to me,
No, for sure. And I'll tell you what, we do have majority of the teams together this year. We just have different order, and it's way too early to look at these teams. Because what we're going to see come the district dual seating committee time, it's going to look a little different. But I do believe we have a nice group of teams here. And I think that, if we talk about the PA power rankings as well, we see those 3 of those teams in there as well. And they are different. Everyone's got them a little bit different. But yeah, I think that you're going to see some teams not on this list that you've seen in the past off the list. And you'll see a team or two that's come back, in that top 5 or back on the list. So, yeah, I'm not going to be too critical, Joe. I mean, our homerisms are well documented. So, Suburban One League gets my favor, and certainly the Pack Joes, and then we try and help out the Chestnut guys when we can. But I think we got a good list. I think, Mike, you can throw it right up, and then. Joe will get first dibs.
All right, thanks. As we go number 1. I think right now, as it stands, a clear-cut favorite for me is Council Rock South. I've been zeroing in on them for a while, and just seeing what they did at Cumberland Valley over the weekend, put it over the top. I mean, it's a slam dunk right now. Again, a lot can happen between now and postseason time, but they're my number 1. I alluded to it before. There's something in the water up there. And just that Apache Club and Coach Silm Perry, tremendous feeder program to what they have going up there, and they just have a good thing going. They're the class of District 1 year in and year out, it seems.
Yeah, and some of the coaches always mention the programs, and Council Rock South is one of those programs that you're always going to see them in the top 5 in District 1. But this is a year where the individual talent is kind of coming together. But for me, it's the strength up top now for Council Rock South that's going to separate them from most of the teams in District 1. Obviously Lucas Doyle anchoring the top, but now he's got a couple other guys below and above him that are going to be able to bring in some big team points. And I think that is going to be the difference maker for Council Rock South all year long. PA Power has them at number 18, the highest ranked team in the state from District 1. So complete agreement here with Council Rock South. And Quakertown is your number 2 team, and I'm just
before going further, you mentioned the council or the power rankings. I think they're ranked a little bit too low, to be honest. And I think that's, again, it's so early. I think that gets sorted out as the season progresses. Probably Coach Silm Perry, if he's watching, is going to be mad at saying they're ranked a little bit too low, because I think that definitely he likes to not be unassumed but I just to be honest, I'm just doing my due diligence by saying I think they're ranked too low, in that publication, just because based on the like you said, the individual talent alone that they have.
I was surprised they were ranked. I mean, they're a top 10 to me. They're always there.
Yep. So go ahead. You were saying, Glenn?
Yeah. No. I mean, just you have Quakertown number 2. I mean, 1 and number 2 are going to go at it. This Wednesday night, we're going to broadcast that match. So. This Council Rock South team is going to be tested often and early. They're going to have Springford a week later, I believe. Am I right on that, or is it?
Yep, a week.
Just a week later, they take on Springford. Excuse me. So, Council Rock is going to probably wrestle most of these teams on this list. And that's the difference. For some of these teams not to get those matches, and Council Rock and Springford have been doing that. Lately, and Boyertown now my number 2 team, so I'm gonna.
Glenn, I gotta call timeout.
Oh,
like how is it? I'm going with a Suburban 1 team at 2, and you're going to Pack team at number 2.
All right, I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay, I'm.
Listen,
I'm
it's the video, Tony. Tony Haley talks about this team, and they're not unassuming. This is a team and it's not a rebuilt team. it is just a team that may just be coming together at the right time. We went and watched that match last year, Boyertown at O&J, and we said exactly that. Like, this Boyertown team in the next year or two could be back to prominence here in District 1. Some people forgot all about Boyertown with Springford's success over the last couple of years. Obviously, Quakertown, Garnet Valley, some of these other teams that had kind of snuck around. But Boyertown, they want to be back. They want to be in that final match. They want to get back to states and wrestle in Hershey in the team championship. So, Boyertown has some individual talent, but again, this team, is this his second or third year at Boyertown at the helm now?
I think it's year 3 coming back.
Yeah, year 3.
Year 2.
I mean, I forget COVID. For me,
we were correct. Mike thrown it too, because it makes sense, because Harner's year 2 at Methacton.
I was correct with 2. Okay, so this is Tony's second year as the head coach. This is his team now, the way I see it. And for me, that's the difference. I think that the dust has settled in Boyertown a little bit. We had a little coaching carousel there. I just feel Tony came in and said, nope, we're going back to grassroots here at Boyertown. We're the Boyertown Bears. This is how we do things. This is how we practice. This is the schedule, and we're getting after it. And I think it's going to come together. And that's the reason why I have Boyertown up above Quakertown. Like, big difference, because I'm not sure about that Quakertown team. And again, we're going to find out this Wednesday night just how good they are.
So then my 3 is Boyertown. I think, like you said, I think they're kind of under the radar right now. They went 4-1 over the weekend as the host school of the Brian Beeler Memorial Duels, losing to just a buzzsaw of a team that is Easton. Again, just not District 1, but Jody Karam just bringing that team back. His alma mater. I think it's tremendous. He built Bethlehem Liberty into a power, and now he's bringing Easton back to where it belongs. But I definitely, I have Boyertown number 3. For those kind of a lot of reasons you said, I just don't think they're Quakertown good just yet. And again, if you're a believer in what they're doing there, and as am I think you're just drinking a little bit more Boyertown Kool-Aid than I am.
Yeah, no, and again, Quakertown is that second-ranked team at the PA Power Ranks, right behind Council Rock South at number 19. I may just be a little bit off, but the Quakertown team for me, you see them down at number 6, and that's probably a little disrespect to Kurt Handel's squad. But at the same time, I'm just a little unsure of a young team. I don't think they're as solid as they are as they've been up top in the last couple years. For me, that was a difference maker for them. They got big points up top against some of these teams that were kind of just getting by up top, throwing out what they had. I don't know if that's the case with some of these other teams like Boyertown and Council Rock South right now, Garnet Valley and Springford. I'm just not sure. It's a question mark Quakertown team out of the gate preseason. But like I said, we're going to find out, and I'm sure my rankings will change for the first time that we post them here on the PAWrestling.com. So no disrespect to that Quakertown squad, because I'm always at your side. I have Garnet Valley at number 3. You have them at 4. Again, we have the 3 of the top 4 together. Garnet Valley surprised some people over the last year. I guess it's been 2 years. Was it 2 years now again? Knocking off that Council Rock North team that was really good. It really wasn't that big of an upset. Garnet Valley's been there before. They've been to the team championships. This is a year where I think they put it together again. Not only with that individual talent, but more of a solid up and down team. So I think we're pretty close on this Garnet Valley team. Again, I don't know what it's like for them during the regular season. I don't know if they get that competition in the league that they need to get to be prepared. But on paper, they certainly deserve to be where they are.
No, I agree. I got Garnet at 4. They're not sneaking up on anyone anymore. They're in my opinion, become a household name here in District 1. You mentioned their schedule. They are going to King of the Mountain. They are going to Hurricane Classic. So they are going to have some big time tournament experience as the season goes on. That Central League tournament, again, there's a lot of individual talented wrestlers, not a lot of teams on their level per se, but nevertheless, there will be challenges, and they host a Rage in the Cage duels that brings in some teams that show up on our list, like Pennsbury. Your alma mater, Happer, will be there as well.
Yeah, we've been going there a lot.
I think we're both in agreement there, and the 3 of those 4 we have were similar. You go with Springford at 4, though. Talk to me about that.
I can't disregard the returning defending champions. You just can't do that. Springford's had a great run. They lost a lot of good seniors in the last couple of years. They don't rebuild; they reload. And as you see, they had a tremendous outing at Cumberland Valley. Their individual talent is outstanding. Again, I think it's a program that's established. Sizlove, Coach Tim Sizlove has that program where he wants it to be. It's just fine tuned. That's what. Tim will tell you throughout the season. He'll let you know come district duels where that team is when they're ready. And I think last year he knew they were ready to win that thing. So I just don't count them out of the top 4 right now. They're definitely in the top 5. Who knows who wins that Boyertown Springford match? I mean, Perkiomen and Valley's gonna make some noise in the pack. We don't know about this O&J team, but Springford, until you beat them, they're going to be in the top 4.
Gotcha. I've gone about as my 4th team, but then I go Springford 5, right on the tail end of what you're saying. Again, for a lot of the same reasons. They're, someone that from a place of experience and seeing what they put on the mat every year at the middle school level, and their middle school coach Jason Kirkus does a tremendous job with them, preparing them for to be high school wrestlers. And they have a lot of guys you've never heard of that they're going to be putting out there, but I think a lot of them will become more household names. The Cole Smith, the Dominic Orlip, those are guys we know. Quinn Smith has been close to, in his first 2 years. I think this is going to be a breakout year for him. Ryan Laporte's tough. He's got tough kids. He's got that, and he got program kids. They do a great job of getting a lot of wrestlers out and keeping them out and keeping them in the program with the understanding they may not start till they're a senior. But when they're ready to step in that lineup, they're ready to go and strap it up. So that's what I like about Springford, and that's why I have them at 5.
Could I just mention one more thing about that Springford team? I mean, Dominic Ortlieb, goes ultimate tiebreaker with Tyler Chappelle from Seneca Valley, Cumberland Valley Classic. That's the quality of wrestling that you're going to get from those Springford wrestlers. And you're right. I mean, we watched that Springford team, that team that won that title last year. We watched them, that team through 4 years. We watched those guys that filled in like the year before, like they were a fill-in guy in the district duels, to make a move, to bump up. And the next year, there they are. They're a guy that's counted on at the varsity level day in and day out. And again, you talk about the Council Rock South program, you talk about the Springford program. Everybody's ready to step in and do their part at Springford, and that to me is really why I have them in the top 4. I just couldn't keep them out.
You go 5 with Henderson and with Henderson.
Yeah, and you go 6. So I mean, I think just a little. For me, it's Westchester Henderson's individual talent. I just, we've been watching them over the last 5 years as well.
They've become Coach Rob Begley's made them like kind of a household name now. Definitely in the last 4 years, he's the continued success he's seen.
We expect them
as a team.
Yeah, we expect them to be there on that
second day.
Yeah, that second day, or even just knowing that's a tough draw for you if you get Westchester Henderson in the first round of the district duels, because they've been there before. This is an experienced team that, again, their schedule has evolved over the years, and again, they start off with winning an individual tournament this past weekend, and those are the things that help build team confidence too, because there are some guys on that team that haven't been in that lineup and kind of had the spotlight. Now it's their chance. So Westchester Henderson, again, I could put them in the 5 or the 6 hole here, depending where Quakertown lands, because I think Quakertown probably moves up in my rankings. But again, I think we are in agreement with this grouping, and we would like to see Westchester Henderson wrestle one of those teams during the season. That would be great. We don't get to see that as much as we do with the Council Rock South, Springford, because they're wrestling each other. Quakertown kind of going out of league and wrestling those matches, but they're going to be kind of dangerous all year long. I mean, I'd like to see what they do.
Yeah, definitely. And you look at our top six, that, like you said, it's the same teams, just different order. It's funny, we go 7, we both go Sun Valley. Again, it's not a surprise. I think this program's been trending this way over the last several years. What Coach Tom Ellis has been able to do, as far as get a little buzz down there in Aston and get some guys out and get some guys wrestling year round. The Black Sheep Wrestling Club down out of Delaware County, where they're at, has been definitely a big feather in their cap of getting those guys just extra time on the mat which wasn't really when they didn't really have options like that in the past. So, and when they were on display this weekend, I mean, big win over O&J, and some other wins at the Rock Yard Duels that really, I'm sorry, not Rock Yard, I apologize. The Brian Beeler Memorial Duels. They beat Souderton as well, who we talked about as one of those tough teams, beat Council Rock North, and they lost a tough one with Garnet Valley for third place. So, when you think of Sun Valley in years past, sure, you think of the Kaka brothers and the successes they had there, but I think like there was buzz before that, and this team was being built, in the past, and as a result, this is what we're seeing now. We're seeing that the fruits of that labor, and they have a nice team, a solid team of guys that are tough and that really get after it. So I see them like in there in 7. They're going to be a district duels team, and maybe a team that can make it into that weekend's second weekend of district duels.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree that this team lately, in the last decade, obviously, really has kind of been built on the Kaka brothers with the success they had at Hershey. But again, this team has developed into a quality team, and as evidenced by the wins this past weekend. So they are a district duel team. They have not been a district duel team in a long time. I do remember wrestling at Council Rock North years ago when I was coaching the Hatters, and Sun Valley was on the other mat wrestling somebody else. We were stuck wrestling Council Rock North. But, it's been a while for them to be in this team hunt. So it'll be interesting to see if Coach Ellis can kind of maintain the team through the season and get them and peaking at that time. Because if they're not peaking, they're not going to be able to hang with this group of 6 that we have.
They're knocking on the door.
No, they're knocking on the door. They got a chance to get into that Elite 8. So we'll see what they do. And then this Souderton team will roll right into them. I mean, what a shocker it was this weekend for them, knocking off O&J Roberts. If you would have told me that was happening, I would have been shocked. We had a little banner back and forth emailing, like, the Souderton team's for real. You look at their lineup, you don't really see it. And then you just look at the results. Coach Atkinson taking over there, and again, not losing much in terms of the program itself. He's been right there the whole ride through the ups and the downs with that Souderton team. But right
helps
now,
you guys moved back in from private schools, so that helped them with their with upping their level in a rather quick time. It puts them ahead of the curve in building their program.
Yeah, and again, this is a suburban 1 league team, that has kind of been behind North Penn a little bit. The last couple of years was behind Penn Ridge for a long time. So Souderton is going to make some noise. I mean, they still got to go through Central Bucks East. I mean, they're going to have tough matches in their league. But certainly this is a team to watch, and I think that's why we're showing some respect with them in the 8 hole. I mean, that puts them in the top 8. That puts them there in that Elite 8. So they're gonna have to prove themselves though the rest of the way. I mean, early success can be foolish. We're not sure, but certainly they had a good test over the weekend, and they hung with those other teams. They put points on the board against Easton and the other. They wrestled some. I mean, the quality of teams at the Bear Duels were just crazy.
Yep.
So there was no easy out there, and I thought they hung in there and did a great job. So keep an eye on this Souderton Indian team.
We go number 9. I have Pennsbury. Again, Pennsbury, they've been kind of, where they lack maybe high-end superstar talent, they have a lot of guys that are really tough and get results. And it was evident when they go to the Solanco Mule Classic and take 5th this past weekend. I think it was a definite eye opener for me of the all the District 1 schools there. They finish they're the highest place finish. And going with the likes of Central Dauphin, Dow-Town, Red Lions, Solanco. So I think they're right away put themselves in position to make some noise in District 1. They this season we'll see them go to the Wetzel over Christmas break. Then they do the Raging Cage Duels at Garnet Valley. And they do the Big Red Duels at Souderton, and that brings in a nice group of teams as well. Their season is balanced. I mean, their schedule is balanced, and they're getting some big dual meet tournaments and some individual tournaments. This is where I would say maybe I hope that schedule doesn't come back to hurt this program, because they have, like I said, they have talent and they have an abundance of it. And I think that they're right there in that conversation with Sun Valley and Souderton to make district duels and again, barring everyone stays healthy, to make it to that second weekend.
Yeah, I mean, you get down here, the 9-10 teams, actually 8, 9, 10 are usually very difficult. I have Pennsbury at number 10. I got to say this: when Wayne Stinson took over this team, nobody knew who he was. He came across the border from Jersey, and I think he's done a tremendous job. Yeah, individual schedule, tournament schedule for him needs to probably get better, but he gets in-house in-league wrestling with the Council Rock North, Council Rock South, and the Chamois. So he gets tested right in his own league.
And he gets the Patriot tournament, SWL Patriot tournament.
Yep. So there's good things happening at Pennsbury. Pennsbury is scrappy. They are tough kids. They wrestle in youth programs. They're wrestling all year. Grotzik is just like he is Pennsbury wrestling. He is gritty. He is tough. You're not getting an easy point on him. You better keep wrestling to the whistle. You better stay alert out of bounds, because they are going to keep coming at you, these Pennsbury Falcons. They have some young guys too that are coming up. I watched them at the Abington Duels last year, and they're a solid dual meet team. They have a big room. I'm looking at their roster; it's very similar to the Council Rock South roster, than the Chamois roster. I mean, they have 30 kids, already punched in here. So they're looking at a big room, and they have good in-room talent. Every day wrestling with each other. I mean, they have good practices in that Pennsbury wrestling room. So they're another team to watch, and it's tough to get make a lot of noise in that league with Council Rock South always there.
Yeah, and North with the success that they've had recently.
Yeah, and then
you have number 9.
Yeah, I have Downingtown West here. Again, I was talking to Mike before we got started with our broadcast, and I just can't leave Downingtown West out of the top 10. I can't do it. I've done it in the past. I've left them out of the top 4 in the past when they were right there. So I'm not going to do it this year. I'm going to put them in there. I think they're one of the better teams historically in the Chestmont League. I think they have great individual talent. They have a great coaching staff. I'm just I got to keep them in the top 10, and I just kind of threw them in there. I know Council Rock North had some good wins and had a good tournament over the weekend too. And I do have them kind of right there in my next grouping, but. Just don't count out Downingtown West.
Yeah, no, I agree. Downingtown West has like a mix of, you said, of old and young talent. I went Rock North. If it was kind of like flip a coin. So who was better? I would just I try to look at it from the lens like both tournament and dual meet. And I think in a tournament, right, Rock North has the nod right now. In my opinion, again, I could be wrong, but I have Downingtown West coming in right after we go some honorable mentions. We agreed top 10 on the on the board, yes, because we couldn't agree on how many to go past that. So if we,
before we do that, just going back to those PA Power initial AAA rankings. I mean, Westchester Hendon came in as our 3rd team in the top 25 at number 23 behind Council Rock South and Quakertown, and you and I have them a little bit lower. So I just find that interesting again that when the state rankers look at that stuff, they kind of take a peek at what's been happening historically after, the last couple of years. And again, I'm surprised Springford, kind of isn't there either. But I think that list is going to change pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's easy to look on.
After Wednesday night, we know it is. We already
exactly. Yeah,
we already spoke to Jeff. So.
Yeah, it is. It's easy to just look at results and who's coming back. And we talked about Springford, both having Springford ahead of Henderson. It's just that they just have wrestlers waiting in the wings and ready to step in. And so I think we're both on the same page there with Springford. And again, it's going to get sorted out. We're going to see what Springford's made of in a week. I think we both have a pretty good idea. I think everyone else at home has a pretty good idea, seeing their results. So we'll get to see what they are. You look at schedules too, like Springford now they wrestle in Rock South. We're going to go one step further and bring up their schedule, and they're doing the Hurricane Classic as they always do. They're doing the Rock Yard Duels, which they've been a regular there for a while. They're also going to the Big Red Duels. They have the PAC Championship Tournament, so they have some. They're going to get to see good competition, and they still have a dual meet with Wilson Westlawn lurking on their schedule in February. So they don't shy away from competition. As we talk about, any of these teams do. Like Rock North going to Powerade this year.
Yeah.
Great for them, for their younger guys, for their to get them some experience in that tournament. They're also going to Escape the Rock, which a lot of these teams on this list are going to Escape the Rock. So it's definitely.
I think we'll see some reshuffling of these lists that we have of our top teams. So let's talk a little bit about the honorable mention. I think in years past we've gone 12 deep. I know it really gets difficult at that 10 spot to get those guys in. So I don't, not necessarily in any particular order. Just going to talk a little bit about some of those teams. So I did have Council Rock North outside of the top 10 because of that Downingtown West piece, and you just said you had them kind of right below. Yep. So that's kind of where we'll start. Some of the other teams to consider. I did consider that Happer Horsham team. Again, they're hungry. They sat out a year. They have 13 seniors on the team. They're not all going to wrestle in that varsity lineup, but they do have a nice squad. They have a nice young team. So they have a freshman that just won the Pottstown tournament. I talked about him, Al Geyer. So they have some talent. We talked about Martini. They have Chris Long. They have an upper weight. So their talent's kind of spread up and down, but they're really tough in those lower weights and the start of the middle weight. So keep an eye on them. We do have to wrestle Quakertown there in our league, along with Plymouth Whitemarsh and Abington. So those I have Plymouth Whitemarsh right there as well. Plymouth Whitemarsh had a good showing at the Franny Lutz Duels. I think they won that going away. I think they were 3-0 there, and they did a weird pool bracket thing there.
And doing it without Mike Miller.
Yeah, they didn't have Miller in the lineup, but they have some young kids as well that are wrestling really well. I have Owen J. Roberts in there. They're kind of a big question mark. I know, Joe, you can talk a little bit about that, but I'm not discounting them yet. We'll see what they do with this Boyertown matchup in a week or so. We'll see what that looks like for O&J. That'll be kind of the tester, because Boyertown, obviously we both have Boyertown as the cream of the crop there in the pack. I have Perk Valley in there too. It's time for them to wrestle well as a team. I mean, the individual talent's there. So there's a couple pack teams, a couple SOL teams. Westchester East. Coach Gallo's feeling that he can compete for a league title out there, so you can't count them out. Strathaven, to me, is an unknown. We don't know what they can do as a team. And then I know we both had Interborough under consideration as well, and we just don't know what that Interborough team can do until we see them at the end of the season. And you can look back at their resume come the seeding time. This is not the old Interborough team that just applies for the district duels. They've applied, and now they're getting in, and they're winning, and they're moving on. So that's a group of about 6 to 8 teams that I feel that kind of can sneak into that top 10. Possibly, obviously when we start to rank these guys later, and we get into the season, and we're not really sure what we're going to do with this district duel. I think COVID's going to have a little bit to do with it, but right now I think we're going to probably assume we're at 16. Mike, are you in agreement with that? I'll go out on the limb and say it's going to be 16 teams, not 8. So I think if we have 16 teams, I think we got to start looking at this, second group outside of the top 10. What do you got?
Well, you talked about Downtown West. Agree with the coaching, agree with the talent. Led by Dominic Findora, who we talked about in our last video. And they're just solid all the way across. They just, again, in the past couple of years, they've been one of the top three teams in Chessmont, with a conversation of, Westchester Henderson also being a mainstay there with them. I've liked this Interborough team. I've seen them since they were middle schoolers. Now I've seen them come up and have success at the high school is pretty neat to see. Coach Dan Tobin just has a good thing going there. They were district duels. They made it to the second weekend 2 years ago when we had it. And, now these guys are seniors, DiAgostino and Shippey. And then, you have some other guys that are in the lineup that are, tough, that don't get the same amount of publicity as those others do. Strathaven, I really like what Tony Giuliano is doing down there with that program. He's been building it, and really, having they're in the conversation always out of the Central League. And when you think Central League, you think Garnet Valley, you think Upper Darby had a stronghold on for a few years, and then Strathaven's like kind of creeping up and nipping at their heels. And I think that's pretty neat to see from a program that, wasn't necessarily on the map. And all of a sudden now you're starting to see guys medal at states. You're starting to see, state qualifiers and, the Crawfords and the Barlows of the world from Strathaven. So I think that's really, really good for not just the sport, not just for District 1, but obviously just for Strathaven, that community. I don't think as long as Tony Giuliano's there doing what he's doing, I think they're going to continue to be in that conversation because, he's making sure these kids are involved in wrestling. You mentioned Perk Valley, and again, Perk Valley's on the rise, and they kind of get overlooked because they're in the pack, and you think Boyertown, you think Spring 4, you think O&J, and there's all these other teams that are ahead of them that get mentioned. But PV's doing some good. Coach Dave Thomas there, again, doing a good job and doing it the right way. He created buzz. He got kids to buy in, and now he's starting to see the benefits of all the work he's put in the short time he's been there.
Yeah, and the dedication of the kids there is the key at Perk Valley. You can see it. You can see the product on the mat. And it wasn't there. Just 5 years ago, that wasn't there.
No, so you talk about Keiko's first state medalists in years they had. They got some other tough guys, Grant Pasco. Now there's going to be 3 Euchre brothers probably in the lineup for them, and 2 of them are freshmen, and one's going to be at heavyweight, and the other's at 160, and some other one's somewhere between 60 and heavyweight. And they're tough. I've seen them wrestle in middle school. So they've got pieces to the puzzle. I think as the years go on, you're going to see more and more because they're getting more involvement. They have some good middle school coaches down there that are bought into the program and doing things and helping to get that going. And again, I'm sure that they're infiltrating their youth program and getting that in line so that they have it all aligned from K through 12.
Yeah, I mean, and Perk Valley kind of is like the PW of the Suburban 1 League, because if Quakertown's in your league or Council Rock's House in your league, you're always looking up.
Yeah.
But you can't forget about these teams that have been getting better and better and better over the last. When I look at like 5 years with a team, because you can have a group of seniors for that 4 years, but there's times where the freshman class come in and really push a team to a higher level. So we'll see with a couple of these teams if that's going to happen with the young talent or whether it's going to happen with that older group, and how it all comes together. Who else do you have in there? I know you got a couple others.
No, I went 14 deep. I didn't go past it. I said I was going to go 12, and I ended up going 14 anyway. I know you were locked and loaded for a few more.
Yeah, I can't wait to I love the feedback. We do need help with rankings, because I love the feedback on the forum. Whatever, if you see me out when Joe and I are broadcasting, I love just come over and say, well, are you kidding me? Have you seen it? Because we don't get to see every match.
I'll throw 2 more out off the top of my head.
I knew I'd get them.
You get me into it. I'm going to say if they get healthy, Westchester Ruston. Again, we talked about them earlier. The system they have in place, they just do a good job, and they got some talented guys. And the other that people probably might not be thinking about is Kennett. Kennett's got a solid core of guys. The younger Kokersberger, Wutcher, Bailey Schindel, John Pardo, they're 215 and heavyweight. They have maybe one of the best 1-2 punch in District 1, maybe. I have to dip into it a little bit further, but they're pretty tough. Rock South's pretty tough at 215 and heavyweight too. But they got some pieces of the puzzle, so Kennett's definitely on the way up as well. So whatever's going on there is working. I'm sure I'm forgetting someone else from that Kennett program that was around last year or is coming up. And so I think that they're gonna make some noise on that Chestmont. I'm not sure. They're going to be able to make enough to maybe make a run at district duels, but again, you think few things fall their way. You never know. That's the great thing about it. Just the swings and matches. So
yeah, I mean, and just you talk about that. We're not even mentioning Downingtown East. We talked about Westchester East and now Ruston. Obviously, we know about Henderson over in the Suburban 1 League. We really haven't talked about North Penn and Central Bucks East tonight.
Yeah.
And those are teams that we've been talking about over the last couple of years when it comes to district dual time. So you really don't know how those things are going to work out in those leagues. Yeah. I mean, Suburban 1 League, we're split into 4 divisions right now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So we don't really know how that's going to work out. I like the crossover matches that we're seeing. I just hope wrestling gets to the point where we have those smaller leagues, get those matches, and then go get after it out in those non-league matches where it really matters. And like I said, the PIAA made the push for dual meets to be a big deal. Well, we got one coming on this Wednesday. We got one next Wednesday. And you're going to start to see these matches not only in league but out of league and in our own backyard. And I think that's important for the sport of wrestling.
Yeah, so I mean, by the time this video is released, the Council Rock Quakertown match will already have happened. But just in case you have not heard it yet, looks like we're gonna let the cat out of the bag. Looks like we're going Boyertown O&J the following Wednesday. That would make it the 22nd to see that big pack matchup. Again, we will kind of see maybe what Boyertown is. And maybe see, too, if O&J can put it together, they're, got some work to do. And, we'll see, hopefully a good pack matchup there. Just trying to spread it out. I know Springford and Rock South wrestle that same day as well, but try to get to as many teams as possible. I know sometimes it seems like we do the same teams every year. We are actively searching for matches. So if there's a match you want us to come out and cover, let us know.
Yeah,
put it on the forum. Send an email, tweet. Whatever, Facebook message, put it on Facebook page, do whatever it takes to put it on our radar. Because sometimes maybe we don't see something, and we definitely want to come out and see, cover some of those matches. We were just talking about off camera when we did the Pottsgrove match at the Sunnybrook Ballroom. It was the coolest thing. Then that same season, I think Upper Darby wrestled someone in their auditorium, and it looked incredible, a great atmosphere. That would have been something we would have loved to have been part of. So if you have something like that you're going to do unique, someone wants to go out and do an outdoor match, call us up, let us know. We'll come do it, and I'll put my jacket on and come out and call some matches. It doesn't matter. I'd like to see someone go out there on a limb and do an outdoor match. Maybe on a stadium, put the lights on, and Friday night, do Friday Night Lights wrestling style. I don't know, Glenn. We figure something out. But there's
we've seen the summer
duels,
tournaments out on the fields.
Yeah, let's do an outdoor wrestling match.
AstroTurf. Let's put it down on the frozen
challenging
tundra.
Someone to do an outdoor wrestling match. Let's make it happen. And make sure our phone rings, and we'll come out and do our thing and give you as much publicity as we can. Because we're here to help grow the sport and do this obviously for entertainment purposes, but we definitely want to see the sport of wrestling, go forward. And those events are the cool ones. Like I said, that Pottstown match with that Sunnybrook Ballroom was really cool to be part of.
And it was a great wrestling match. I mean, two teams right in their own backyard going at it. It was great. And any of those rivalry matches that are going to be significant out there, let us know. I mean, we know they're out there. We got to make it work on our schedule. There aren't as many of those Friday nights or Thursday night matches as we'd like to see, because then we can get a Wednesday, Thursday, or Wednesday, Friday type dual meet in. So, keep us informed, and we're going to try and get you the best coverage we can. And PAWrestling.com is going to do it on our own this year without a sponsor. A lot of credit to Mike here. We're in our new studio up here in Pottstown. You guys can't really see. It's new. It probably looks the same. We have a different screen. We have a bigger screen, but the lights are getting brighter. Thank God Joe's got the bright lights, and I'm not blinding everybody over here with my bald head. But we're looking for a great broadcast season, a great season of wrestling here in District 1 and certainly all across the PIAA, and hope we can bring home a lot of medals.
Yeah, ultimate goal right there is to push District 1 wrestling forward, and hopefully we see that, and come March with a good solid medal count. So, Glenn, you got anything else?
Nah, man, it's been fun
as always. You're 4, can't believe it. And like you said, you'll see us in a gym near you at some point in time. As always, feedback is welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate all the support, and looking forward to seeing everyone out there on the mats. Take care. Have a good night.
See you, everyone.